start snowing more here in a little bit. Maybe. There we go. Burps. Yep. It's gonna be choppy. Hi, welcome to my tube. My name's Marge. I'm a Hayok empath. I just like having these little talks on the way I feel about things. It's kind of a middle of kind of bittersweet, a little bit. So it's not a bad day. It's a good day. It's just every day I wake up is a good day. But before I get started on talking about stories about the day, we're getting snow. We've been getting snow all day here up since we got up. It started snowing probably about 7 o'clock this morning up in northern New Mexico on the base of the what are they saying? Blood of Christ Mountains, Wheeler Peak. And it's not sticking though. It hasn't really accumulated. It's starting to now. The temperature is going to start dropping. So, and people drive up and down this road so freaking fast, man. They're gonna be taking out fences, doing all kinds of stuff. Freaking, because as soon as the temperature drops, the moisture, because like I said, it hasn't been accumulating, and it got warm enough for the stuff that we already had to melt off a little bit. So that water is going to turn to ice, and conditions are going to turn more hazardous, and safety first, safety first. It's in me. Be careful out there, folks. So what I called this talk today, what's the use? And I was starting to think, when I left Omaha back in 2016, I wanted to get rid of I only wanted to keep stuff that we needed, because we've always been kind of nomadic. We've been moved around a lot. We haven't really had roots, me and Mom, much. My brother has. He's been in the same place since 1989. But we're looking. We'll find it. We'll find it one day, God willing, and the creek don't rise. And so we kind of took on this minimalistic lifestyle because mom had periods of time when she's kind of a hoarder. She's a hoarder. She just would keep everything, and I knew one day she wasn't going to be here, and I didn't know what to do with all this stuff. So we went on the way of downsizing, and we moved to Oregon, and then when we had to move from Oregon in October 2020, and some odds and ends, some keepsakes. We don't have a lot of materialistic things in this world, and the world is heading towards a trajectory that material things aren't gonna do people any good, man. They're not gonna make people feel better like they have before. As a matter of fact, man, the more people have, man, it's turning into craziness. It's just turning into craziness, the world. So I called today's talk, what's the use, So when I go, what I like to do, my rule of thumb is if I get something, I have to get rid of something else that's like it. Like I got a pair of sweats when I lived in Oregon at the laundromat. They had a bin that if people didn't want their stuff, you could dump it in there. And I was like, God, I need some lounge pants to just lounge around the house, and when I'm hanging out with Mom. And then I found these sweats, and I love these sweats, and now they're at the end of their shelf life. So I just got another pair, so now I got to get rid of these other sweats because I don't want to take on too much stuff, Now, that's in the materialistic world way. Now, the stuff that I carry with me, the useful stuff that I carry with me, I've been learning That's why I think so many people are scared right now, man. The world is so full of fears because they don't know what they're going to do. You know, all these people are talking about these potential timelines and what they think, you know, how they think things are going to go down. And it's just like people are just ill-equipped, man. People are really ill-equipped. I just saw a post on Twitter. There was a nail in the tire. And someone posted it, and then they're like, this is an easy fix, right? Like, they didn't, like to me, that's a yearly thing to deal with nails in tires, you know? But I mean, it might seem trite and it might seem trivial, but there's just people that just have never, ever, ever been through stuff. So they don't know how to cope, you know? And of course, short people, you know, told them, yeah, you can just go, and if someone's freaking charge you more than $10-15, put a patch on that, then you probably shouldn't go back to that tire store again, because it's a real quick and easy fix. But at the end of the day, people take advantage of people. Want to get more money out of people that don't know. I can't stand that. I've seen it my whole life. That's why I put myself in good advantage, so I could know when someone's being a freaking shyster or not. And more often than not, I can figure it out pretty quick. And mostly they just kind of tell you by the way that they dress and stuff like that. The brands, labels, stuff like that, just to kind of tell you, like, this is what D-bags do. So, anyway, I have a lot of useful skills. I've been collecting useful skills my whole entire life. I just like helping people. I got that helper bug. I went to the post office today, and up in Washington, I believe. My brain puts an in the word. So I go around telling people chonga mushroom, and they think that there's a new mushroom that's invented, and it's not. I just mispronunciate it. So this, yep. Anyway, they're nice. They emailed us, like, I put in the order. Oops, shoot. I put in the order. Good thing the lid was tight. That'd make me sad. And then, like, the next day, they emailed it. Maybe it was 2 days, and they were very apologetic about, like, the lack of urgency in shipping, because it's just a 2-part operation, and they're fortunate enough to be busy and stuff. And I was like, hey, you can't, when you believe in divine timing, you can't be mad if things don't show up on time, because there's no time. Otherwise divine. So this is pretty cool. I have a bag that's already open. I'll show people. It lasts a real long time. It grows on the birch tree. The birch tree looks like the aspen. They cut it with a saw like that, and then that's the outside, and you just take it and you freaking whack it with a hammer and break it down. And I just put it in the teapot, just the pieces of it, directly in a tea kettle, and let it boil and let it do that. I'll bring it up to a slow boil. I'll put it on a low heat and bring it up, let it steep, kind of bright comes up, and do that. And then it's good for people and pets too. Put it in the pets' water. It's good for them, and it's better, helps with their teeth and their gums and stuff like that too. So I recommend it. And with shipping, they're up in Washington. You just do your priority shipping or whatever. They even credited me back like $3 because they were able to put it into a smaller box. Isn't that cool? So I recommend them. Yeah, I think I found them on Etsy. So went to the post office, and it was snowing. Like, I had already gone to the coffee shop, and it was snowing and pretty gusty, pretty windy. The snow was blowing pretty it's blowing pretty good. And and I go in, I do my business, and when I pulled in, I see a woman with a sign that says, a young woman, she had a sign that said, anything helps. And it was written in red. And later it occurred to me that I think she wrote it, she had lipstick on, like she did herself up, you know, like to be more, you know, and I think she used her lipstick to make the sign on a piece of cardboard. And I walked out to her and I approached her. I was like, "What are you doing out here?" And she goes, I was camping over here, and some people came through and went through and took all my stuff. They like pillaged her campground where she was camping back behind the post office back there somewhere, and some stuff. And I was like, you know, these freaking sober people don't do that stuff. They don't. You know, people can be in a real desperate way, but it's when you add the freaking mind altering whatever, it freaking sends people down a trajectory that this whole world is going on right now. So I gave her a $20 bill, and I said, and I said, okay, I said, come back over here to the van with me. I got a sleeping bag back here for you. And she walked over with me, and I opened back the van, and I gave her a sleeping bag, and I had this other stuff too I forgot that I had. And I was like, okay, here. I said, here's a poncho to put over her clothes to keep her dry, because the snow was real wet too, and also a hammock, so hopefully she can find a place to hang up her hammock and then get inside the hammock with the sleeping bag, and that'll keep her extra warm and dry. She can just like close the top of the hammock over the top of her, you know, and kind of just freaking zone out, you know. And we were talking. And I was like, and I said, I've been meaning to get more. I need to get a bag of stuff for people, because I gave her the last, but I mean, I always find people that are in need, man. There's always people that are in need of something. Even if it's just an ear, someone to listen to, you know, someone to just share, you know, just to take the burdens of their heart, their soul, you know, off their mind, off their heart, off their chest, to just make it less powerful. You keep it on your mind, and just that power grows, and it gets so dark and hard. So she was gonna go back over, and I was like, I need to get more stuff, like, you know, I need to get a bag of goodies like socks and stuff like that. Come on, Tom. Come on, buddy. Good boy. Come on. Good boy. Stay out of his ear. Because I'm always running into travelers, and that's one thing that travelers need is clean socks, and like toothbrushes and toothpaste and sometimes plastic bags are handy for them to put their stuff in so it can stay dry, especially in inclement weather and stuff. And so when I said, my name is Marge, and she said, my name is Angelica. And I just started crying. And I said, because I didn't want to go out today, but I was like, it's going to snow and you're not going to want to go out tomorrow. And I just started crying. I said, that's my niece's name. And that's why I'm supposed to come out here. You know, because my niece is only 7, and she's in pretty good shape. I mean, her parents are in very, very good standing. But life never knows. You never know what kind of turns and twists are gonna come in, and how your life is gonna be impacted. And I started crying. I was like, and then I was just like, Marge, you don't need to trouble her with this, you know. I was like, and because I was like, that's my niece's name, and I don't get to see her. And I figured out today why I don't get to see her. It hit me. I had an epiphany. And the astrology said that you're going to have a knowing by the end of the week. If you don't know something by Saturday, pay close attention. But when we were young, there was a 5-year custody suit. That's why we moved to. Mom escaped us from where we lived in Morro Bay on Las Tunas road down there and up to Redding and because on Dad's side, Grandma, it's like Grandma was a real estate agent. The whole city, the whole county was in her pocket. There was no anyway. So my brother was going to school, and my mom, the judge granted custody to my grandmother, and she lived in Atascadero, and my mom was still in Morro Bay, and so to be extra jerky, not only did they grant my grandma custody, then they made it so that my mom had to drive 100 miles a day to get my brother to and from school. Just to make it harder for her. When I know how the pull that people have, that don't you know who I am. I hate all those people, man. They've been making my life hard for all time, The people that are supposed to be helping but really hinder, to feed their systems, to generate their revenue to put in their pockets. It's all bullshit. People paying themselves too much that say that they care about people. It's stupid. So, I at night I'd go, Grandma, don't forget to wake me up. I mean, I'm 3, and being away from my mom was hard enough. Right? It's hard for a little kid to be away from their parents. And I fully understand what was going on and things like that. I was born an old soul. I came in an incarnation. My psyche, I had as an adult, even as a child. I'm more of a child now than I was when I was a kid. Saying, Grandma, you got to wake me up so I can see Mom, And then there'd be times that she wouldn't wake me up on purpose. And then so I got this separation anxiety, And it's like she was trying to hurt my mother by not letting my mother see me. And it didn't even, my grandmother wanted to hurt my mom so bad by not letting her see me that she just didn't even care what impact it had on me. So, and now, because I don't act the way my brother wants me to act, and I never have, he knows the relationship with my niece is one of the most important things in the world to me. And so because he can't control me or my behavior, he moved this last summer and I don't get to know where they live. It's because he doesn't want me to send them gifts and things like that. So, people have been, it's this, generations they've been playing people's emotions, I think it's the people that don't have emotions, the people that are stoic, people that don't feel things. Yeah. It's like they're jealous and envious of people that can feel emotions and things. And I don't look at it's people call it a blessing, and I'm like, what the fuck for, man? I cry all the time. Always crying. Everything's not fair. The world is unjust, And now I'm looking at like the dissolve of freaking humanity's psyche and like social media all over the place. But I look on it's just like it's dissolving, They're trying to freaking I don't some people just have an idea of what they want this world to be, and it just doesn't go along with anything that I believe in at all. It's all based on fear and power and control and ego and all that stuff. And also all that stuff I don't give a shit about. I don't give a crap about. When it comes down to it, these people that have like It's just not looking good. It's not looking good the next couple of years. It's just not looking good. See, because it has to get that way. People have to ultimately, like the people that drive down the street that drive so fast, you know, people have to learn a lesson. They got to get out of control. They got to wreck. They got to freaking blow their lives up before they freaking, you know, start valuing life and appreciating life and the people and the relationships and connections that they have in it. Not having anything to do with freaking money. Look at Tango back there. He's so cute. So, on a positive note, got some Christmas presents today. First one I opened was this. I'm so cool, man. I freaking love it. I love it. It's like, you know, people that I have never met have been so... And then, Mom got a really cool... I'll just show a picture. I'll show you the stuff, the loot Mom got. And I got this wrapped rock. This was made down in Santa Fe. I think it's wet, Mom. They do it when it's wet. And then they tie it in a knot. Or they don't... She didn't tie it. It looks like it's just laid down flat. But when it dries, then it tightens up. It's a wrapped rock. And then it's stuffed on the bottom there. And then this is the top. Isn't that super cool? That's super cool. I freaking love this stuff, man. Wherever our forever home is, hope we have lots of shelves for knickknacks. Huh. So I got that. Where's my... Okay, here's my phone. Right in front of my face. I don't even know what's happening in the world today. It's just not even worth looking at, really. Alright, what was I looking at? I was going to find the picture. My mom's so cute, man. She was cracking up. Don't mind her, we didn't brush her hair yet when this picture was taken. It was... She's so cute, man. She was cracking up. What you doing, Tango? Ego, easing God out. God, good orderly direction. Just do the right thing. Don't be a scumbag. Don't try to freaking, you know, just don't. It's so easy, man. It's so easy how we can make heaven on earth, man. You don't freaking force yourself on people. Your will, you know. And unless somebody's gonna hurt themselves or somebody else, you know, whatever. But people hurt themselves every day with what they eat. Combined it, my mouth said clappy. Anyway, you know what? In another positive note, here's another positive note. My stomach doesn't hurt. I thought maybe I was like, I've had fleeting thoughts because I don't just like, okay, this is what it is. I'll get an idea of like, okay, it could be this, 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 and this, but I'm not going to land on anything what I like when I have an ailment in me. and so I was like, okay, situation. And she worked on it. She just had me lay flat. And this is out. And she did the drop table. And it freaking, my back went pop. I was like, that was a good one. She's like, yeah, it was. And then she put me up against the wall and do the, okay, now fall down. And she did. And that one popped too. And I was like, that was a good one. She's like, yeah, it was. So 2 days ago. And it's like, I've been on this quest of feeling better my whole life because I've always just had a lot of physical pain. Stupid and dumb when everything hurts. I mean, you know, and it's just like, my whole life, it's like I've always been uncomfortable and act like you're having a really good time, but it's like, man, I want to throw up right now because it hurts. Something hurts so bad, right? But, like, it doesn't hurt. My stomach, my back hurts. So I think it's just a lot of nerve damage. It does hurt less. See, I've always been a fan of chiropractic, but I'm also a person that takes recommendations. You know, I like referrals. I like, you know, when people tell me, you know what, this person is great. And even if that person sucked, even if this chiropractor was like really shitty, there's still valuable information sought out that day. And that is that person, the other person's idea of really great and mine, you know, my experience was shitty. You know, we're not on the same frequency. We're not having the same similar situations kind of thing. You can also tell a lot about a person when you go and say, I don't know, the kids on a playground, right? There's an incident on the playground. And then you go home with your friend after school and they tell their parents about the incident on the playground, which in this day and age probably a shooting. But whatever. And then you tell the kid, you hear the kid tell the story, and you were there too, but they're telling like a really different story, like a inflated story, you know. And watch that person as they grow. If you're still continue to be buddies with them, see in all the areas of where they inflate and they embellish and they lie, and just to make things sound better, you know. I like the accurate storytellers and the consistent ones too. So like, then you go over, you know, okay, we're going to go get pizza with a buddy, Mom, then go over to pizza, you know, buddy goes to a different school. They're telling the same story to the buddy goes to a different school. And then it's even a bigger story, you know? So it's not even accurate from the first time. Yeah. Anyway. Things are just getting so freaking great. I'm just so grateful, Mom, we live in a small town. It is so much more. I can imagine being in fucking Sacramento right now. Oh my God. Or even Redding, you know? It's all like love and light and look out. Are people seeing the spiritual bypassing? This is how I tentatively think a timeline could go, but because people's psychology and egos are so freaking imbalanced right now, that unless they freaking start coming into their heart and in alignment, you know, which I don't know. It's every human's personal choice, right? Of which they're going to grasp that. Go for that demon or that angel on their shoulder, you know? And, but the level, it's like, okay, I go into Big Five today. Because it was after the post office. And I was like, I'm going to run up because they $4.99. And they're like recycled cotton. So I went up there and got 5 pairs and then some gloves and hat. And then she was gone by the time I got back. But I put my card in. And at first, because I'm an electronic slider. What are you for people like me? Because I know I'm not the only one. There's a lot of people. And as the frequency and the Schumann resonance and energy and frequency all fluctuate and people fluctuate and everything's changing and people are ungrounded and all that stuff, you know, when you put your card in, your card doesn't work, right? That was the experience I had today, and then it was like, okay, try it again. Usually I do a breath, clear my inner, because this is like everywhere I go. It's like every time I use that stupid card, right? And so I put it in, and this time it worked, and I was like, you know, I said, I think it's really funny. They want to go all technology and get rid of cash. I said, what are you going to do when systems go down and you have people come in and get stuff and they can't get it? You're gonna get a rain check? You're gonna let them have the merchandise? You know, you're going to make a lot of people mad if they have to leave and come back, because a lot of these people got to travel, you know, distances to get to these little places, to get to these things, to get just, you know, and is that, I mean, really? You know, people want to go all electronic. And then with this, like, what they're doing in China, I would be poor all the time with the trash that I talk on the internet and stuff like that. And these are just my own personal feelings, my own emotions, stuff like that. And it's just not, I mean, I do these videos and I try and get, people that realize that we're all shadow and light, and don't ignore the shadow, because if you ignore the shadow, it's going to just come back and bite you in the ass or somebody else in the ass one day, because it grows in everybody when it's ignored, I mean, these are just basic things, and so you take, and as we see, it just doesn't take much to just you lose access, and you give, So I'm always trying to live in a way where money doesn't matter. Like, money is like, I wouldn't need money because I can trade my can of cookies, or I can help somebody set up their security cameras, or I can help somebody change their transmission, or I can do all these other things that is important and gonna be real valuable real soon, because people aren't learning trades anymore. People aren't working anymore. They're going around the world. They're traveling a lot. They're having a lot of people are having a real good time playing, while there's so many people that need just basic things like socks. And that's the thing when this morning, I just felt bad. I just felt squirrely. I said, Mom, I said, we have a roof over our head. We have food in the fridge. I go through the gratitude list, the checklist. We're okay. When I feel anxiety like I felt this morning, that's when I know I'm feeling collective energy. And that's why that's why I went and I said, I'm going to go check the mail. And that's when I ran into Angelica. And then that led me to Big Five to get more socks. So I got more big socks and some gloves and a hat. So if I run into the next person I run into needs his stuff, I got it right there. Then I went up to the coffee shop, and just getting out of the space within my head and getting out, get some fresh air, seeing a couple buddies. But people just stay in the energy of their head, and it gets dark, and they just keep repeating the same thought. My life is this, my life is that, and, without gratitude and without appreciation for what they already have, and just with that weight, that insurmountable weight on their heart that weighs on them of fear. That's for sure. So, but the thing is, I learned, it took me years, because there had been times that I would just sit in my shit because it was warm and cozy there. But now I don't sit in my shit anymore. I get up, I go outside, and I go do something for somebody else. And I just hope I just want to teach people